problem to another, it became more political than before because of the extra little nuances that came into place. So there is no perfect solution. However, in Chicago, they have four oversights, not one, four. And each one does some oversees something else, and they say they collaborate and work together. So that was quite interesting. They feel they have to have four, and I think they have approximately 156 employees with their oversight. So it was quite interesting.
Wow.
So I'll be bringing back some information, and hopefully there'll be more training that can be done, and hopefully next year you have an opportunity to come to the national organization. This was the largest one. There were over 650 people who registered, and they had to cut it off because the number was getting even greater than that. There wasn't enough hotel rooms to accommodate. So this has been the largest conference they've ever had.
That sounds great, Louisa. Thank you for, going and getting these contacts. I actually have family in Chicago and the DC area. So I might have to see what contacts are out there. I'm going to DC sometime soon and Chicago.
Get a chance to network, I'll send you some information for it's called COPA for the civilian oversight here in this area. And now that next year the conference will be in Tucson, Arizona, in October of next year. And on top of that, I'm not just going to the conference. I will also be presenting at the conference tomorrow, talking about the quality of food in jails.
Amen.
Very cool. You'll have to present that for us if you'd like.
I most
That would
definitely
be a
will.
good training.
Yes, it would be.
Well, we're still waiting, y'all. I do apologize for. Okay, I saw that. Okay, so maybe we have another one coming on. Let me. Pam will not be on. Hillary is supposed to be coming on. I have not heard from anyone saying that they will not be on. And anyway, y'all, please forgive. I know everybody's time is important. I'm texting Mike now. Just so everybody knows, this is okay. Hillary says she doesn't see the link. Um, Let me see if I can. Mike said he's looking for the link as well. I told them it's on the agenda. It's the
It's at
same
the
link.
bottom.
Yeah, it's the same link. That's what I'm trying to tell them. It's the same link that was on the agenda.
Oh, I see
It's
Mr.
also in
Dom.
his
Okay.
it's also in his calendar, in everyone's calendar. Google Calendar.
And the Google Calendar. Okay. Um, shoot. Well, once we get started, I don't think it's going to be a long meeting tonight, but I guess we just want to get started, don't we? I see James. So far we have three, and uh, we need five to have a meeting. There's James and Tom. We need one more. So I'm going to give us just another couple of minutes. I don't think I have a number for Miss Onitha. Mike said he's waiting to be let in.
I'll text her, Anita.
Thank you very much, Janice. And hopefully Hillary will get on soon as well.
Hello,
Mic is on. I think, is that Hillary?
Reverend Gray.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm on here.
Excellent. So we have 6, and so we're going to begin. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you all. I am, it is 5:10 on November 13th. It's 5:10 p.m. We want to welcome everyone to our regularly scheduled meeting of the Detention Facility Oversight Board for the City of St. Louis. We will begin by calling the roll. Vice Chair Janice Mensah,
Present.
Mike Milton,
Present.
James Darm Jr.,
Present.
Hillary Stuckey,
Present.
Pam Walker is absent, Tom Lawson,
Present.
Onetha Lewis Walls. Hopefully Onetha will be able to get on. We do have 6, so we do have a quorum. So we'll begin. If we can get someone to move the approval of the minutes of October the 9th. If someone would be so kind as to do that.
I motion we approve the minutes.
It's been moved by Tom. Is there a seconder?
Second.
Seconded by James. It's been probably moved in second. Any question on the motion? All in favor of the motion to approve the minutes of October 9th? I believe we do need your camera on for this. Janice Mensah,
In favor. Yes.
Mike Milton,
Yes.
James Darm,
Aye.
Hillary Stuckey,
Yes.
Tom Lawson,
Aye.
Onetha Lewis Walls. Motion carries. I will be quick. I do know the receipt of communications. Really, this is an outgoing communication. And I know that there were questions that Vice Chair Mensah raised in a letter sent to the commissioner regarding conditions in the CJC. It was during a cold spell. I just wanted to make sure that everyone was in receipt of that letter and notified that that letter did go out. To my understanding, we have not received any response to that communication. I'll ask the staff. I know that I haven't been given any communication regarding that. Do we? And Janice, if you have a copy of that letter, I'm trying to pull it up so that it can be read.
Wait. I didn't write a letter for the.
It was no, it
You-
was. I know, no, it went out to all of the board members. I'm trying to pull it up, and I was just asking if you might have a copy of it, not if you wrote it.
No, I don't have it really handy right now.
Okay, and I'm trying to look to see if I have and I can't pull it up. I would just summarize it as I indicated. There was a letter that was sent by DFOB staff at the request of to the conditions of the CJC during one of our cold spells. There were allegations made regarding the temperature in the CJC, allegations made regarding the removal of blankets from detainees, and the letter was sent to the commissioner asking for a response to that correspondence. And to my knowledge, we have not received any response back. Yes, Vice Chair, you have your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to clarify, I suppose for the minutes or the recording, that uh, what brought this to my attention was that there was an official freeze warning put out by the city alert system for that period. And it was during that time that a loved one of someone detained reached out to me concerned about the air conditioning. Yeah. So just that it was a freeze warning,
Okay.
which might come up again when there's later freeze warning.
Well, I know that that the letter was sent. I just wanted to apprise the board. I know the letter was sent. I do believe that board members may have been CC'd on that letter. I just wanted to bring it up that we have not received a response from the officials at CJC regarding the inquiry that we made. And that was, I think that letter was sent in somewhere between 7 to 10 days ago. I don't know if staff has that letter anywhere handy. So I just want to, as I said, to at least make sure that staff, that board members knew that the letter was sent. We have not received any response to it. And
Reverend
we-
Reverend Gray, if I
Yeah.
may, that was actually sent from staff, from the investigative staff as an inquiry, an investigative inquiry, listing everything that was in the email, including the anticipation of a freeze warning. I don't know that it went out immediately after we received the information from board member Mensa, Vice Chair Mensa rather, but it did go out, and I would ask Latanya Love whether or not she has received anything. I have not been copied on anything from the commissioner.
Okay.
But the legislative inquiry did in fact go out.
All right.
This is Investigator Lyles. The letter did go out, and Commissioner Abdullah responded that she wanted, because it was saying a correspondence we had received from a board member, and she was inquiring as to, she wanted to see the correspondence from that board member.
Okay.
Hold on. Can I ask a clarifying question?
Yes,
That she want to see the course, so she wanted to see where board member got that information from?
I
So she-
thought, I could be wrong, Louisa, but I thought the response was, I'd like to see the complaint.
Right. That was my understanding from the board member.
And I
So she
wasn't,
refused to answer the question, and she said she would like to see the complaint.
right. I guess she was questioning the form of the inquiry. So we'll follow up. We'll
Okay, that's
follow
what I
up,
was going to ask. If
Reverend
we
Gray.
followed up with what she.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll follow up personally on that.
Okay. All right. And so again, just for board members, anytime board members submit an inquiry, a complaint, a request, it's just important that board members know, that staff are following up with the requests and the complaints, et cetera, that come in. And it is important that as soon as possible, we report back to the board as it relates to communication from the commissioner as well. So we just wanted to make sure that board members knew that. I did reach out to Nicole Barton, the executive director for the Criminal Justice Coordinating Committee, on the status of the policies and procedures. It is my understanding, and I think we've already shared this, that the draft is still in the office of the city attorney. Ms. Barton has indicated that she will endeavor to convene a meeting early next week with the commissioner, with Deputy Commissioner Bonner, with someone from the city council's office to see where we are. It's my understanding that there needs to be some clarity as to which draft of the policy and procedure is in the office of the city councilor. that there's some clarification that needs to be made, what exactly was sent to the city councilor's office. What I communicated to Executive Director Barton is that the DFOB and the DFOB staff months ago jointly and collectively and collaboratively um, drafted and approved, from our point of view, policies and procedures that was then funneled into the collaborative process tunnel. And that is gone to everybody except for the city council. Now I'm led to understand that the document that is now in the city council's office may not be the document that the staff and the board agreed to months ago. So we're going to meet the first of the week to review and examine what document they have and what document we should have started with. And it's my understanding that the staff should have the document that has gone through the collaborative process within the next couple of weeks, and that's pending what transpires out of the conversation at the first of next week. All this is new to me. This is information that's just come to me within the last hour in preparation for this meeting, reaching out, trying to get an update. And so Deputy Commissioner Bonner, Nicole will be in touch with you to try to find out your schedule and the schedule of the others to kind of review and determine which document the city council has, and if in fact it's the document that started with us.
Okay.
And just for everybody, what I said to Ms. Barton is this, that this board months ago, that the staff through the then commissioner presented a draft and recommendations as to what policies and procedures would look like regarding the internal investigations, how staff would deal with investigations, complaints, etc. That was given to the board, discussion ad nauseum about it. Board members had an opportunity to weigh in on it. And that was the document that, to my knowledge, staff was operating under even now. We understood that based on the ordinance, it said that we are to work in collaboration, which means the document that staff and board approved months ago, that document went to the collaborative parties. And, you know, personnel, whomever, whoever the parties are. And then it ends up lastly with the city attorney's office, and then it comes back to the staff before it comes back to the board for ratification. That's the understanding, that's the process, that's the ordinance. We want to make it very clear, you know, on behalf of all the board members, we understand the document that we started with. We understand that there will be input from all of the parties in a collaborative nature. It goes back to staff. Staff will bring it back to us. And as a board, we will vote. At the end, the document, the process, based on the ordinance, the board has to vote on it. The board has to approve it. So board members, we will have the last kick at the can. And the hope is that this will all get done before the end of this month. That's the goal. That's the timetable. That's what we're aiming for. And so I'm looking forward to hearing back from Deputy Commissioner Barner once she's had an opportunity to communicate with Ms. Barton. So that's the update on policies and procedures. I also asked Executive Director Barton, where were we on an update on DFOB board training? Her response for the record, and She could not be on the call tonight because she's at a conference in Chicago, and she has a meeting at the same time that we're having this meeting. And I'm frozen, but I hope you can still hear me. Can you still hear me? I see my
Yeah.
face frozen. Okay, so you don't have to worry about me moving around, as long as you can hear me. Her response was, Board Member Stuckey reached out, and I sent her the secure link to watch the video. I was actually waiting on her to confirm.
Uh-oh, he went away. Oh,
Am I back yet?
yeah, you back.
All right, Mike, it's good to be back. It said I was actually waiting on her to confirm that she was able to access everything so I can get the other links sent out. I'm also trying to work out the part 2 training for Tom and James. I need to know James's schedule. I'm waiting for him to respond. And then she just asked if you could remind the other board members if they're missing training to let me know so I can send them the link. I just need James's availability so I can schedule that. Hillary should be fully trained once she completes her last online training. She may have done that today. I sent her the link last week. And so that's the response as far as training. So I'll just ask, any board members that are missing any training, if they could be in touch with Nicole directly. But I would ask that as you're in touch with Nicole, if you could CC our deputy commissioner on any communication you have with Ms. Barton, just so that we can maintain receipts, we can maintain a paper trail on what's being done and how quickly it's being done from the trainer's point of view. We want to make sure that as board members reach out and try to schedule the training, that people respond to the request from the board members as quickly as possible. And so that's, once again, that's left on the board members to reach out to Ms. Barton and please CC our deputy commissioner on any communication that you might have with Ms. Barton. Any questions regarding B or C?
Sure.
Yes.
I'm wondering, to make this much simpler, if there's a secure link for each training, if Nicole could just put together a list of all the trainings that are required in the link for each, it would not only allow the people who have missed trainings to just go in and do all of them one after another, but if people want to review the trainings or whatever, then they have those links too.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, that's a matter of the minutes now, so we'll make sure we forward that recommendation to Ms. Barton. And thank you very much for that. It makes a lot of sense because we might want to refresh it. And there may be people in the public that may want to get it too. So if it's available, then it's available. So it's in the minutes, and we'll follow up on that, Vice Chair. The other side of that, and I think we're all very much aware, the 16 hours is not online. That's still a requirement of in-person training. That is the corrections orientation training. So that's still going to be a matter of in-person training. So I think that everybody's aware of that. And forgive me for stating the obvious. Update on, and once again, definitely with, thank you, Mike, for reaching out to Nicole. And I think, like I said, particularly, we just want to make sure that we get this done as quickly as possible. Update on the DFOB ordinance. I did reach out to Alderperson Aldridge, and he is in Washington, D.C. I'm trying to see if he was able to come on. I don't see him on here. nor do I see anyone from, if there's anyone from the Alderman's office or anyone from President Green's office, if you will make yourself known. I do know that we have sent out, it has been sent out to board members. And I believe that everyone did receive a copy. I know that Pam, the floor substitute, I think she sent it out today. I think some may have received it earlier. There are still some concerns that board members have, even as it relates to the floor substitute. I think that for the most part, board members appreciate the work that was initiated by Alderman Aldrich, Alderwoman Sonier, and President Green. But there are some concerns that we continue to have, particularly as it relates to the city attorney's office. And we want to have that conversation with the alderperson directly. I know that board member Milton raised the concern. I share his concern that what we don't want to do, we don't want to give the city attorney's office more authority than it had in the current than it has in the current ordinance. And so we will set up a meeting, board member Milton, so that I'm not talking to the aldermen, and so that we're not talking to the alderperson and the members or representatives from President Green's office separately. We might need a meeting where we have a couple of board members, particularly board members who have been very vocal about their concern with this particular ordinance as relates to the position and the authority of the city attorney, and or how this board is able to access independent counsel, which seems to be the sticking point right now. We want to be able to articulate that as one body and not individual voices, because we don't want it to be said that as they talk to individual board members, they're getting separate conversations. We want to make sure that they hear from us collectively, especially as it relates to the position and the authority of the city councilor, because in the position of most board members, that's the biggest angst. That's the biggest issue that doesn't allow us as a board to be as independent as I think the spirit of the ordinance originally was created to do. And so, Mike, I'll get in touch with you and others and see who would like to be involved in that meeting. And I'll reach out to the alder people and President Green's office to see how quickly we can meet face to face to make sure that they understand what our position is specifically around the city attorney's authority. Any questions on that? I don't know where else we are. I know that they are in discussions, but I know we want to make sure that we get to the alderperson before this ordinance gets too far down the road.
Man, yeah, I'll mention that, we got to do something fast, because I think the bill votes to be perfected this upcoming Thursday. So I'll say that. And I also raised the fact that this bill also, just for the public, gives basically the Board of Aldermen the power to remove us, even if there's a perceived conflict of interest or if there's a perceived bias. Now they have the power to even make us non-voting members first, and then ultimately remove us. And so it's also not lost on me that this bill has some additions in order to continue to give the power to the city council's office and also ultimately the government.
Okay. So when we meet with them, I'll reach out tonight, Michael, and see how quickly we can get to them. And I'll talk to you tonight after the meeting to see what your schedule looks like as well. Because at least 2 or 3 of us from the board. The problem is we can't have the whole board because that'll constitute a meeting. Uh, but if the board is open to myself, Michael, and 1 or 2 others, if there are no objections from board members, we can try to do that tomorrow or Wednesday, if there are no objections from the board. I do see a
Sounds
hand.
good to me.
Okay. All right. So if I'm seeing, I don't see any objections. So Mike, I'll reach back out to you. If there are board members that want to be part of that conversation, just reach out by email and let me know. And we'll try to get that done by tomorrow. Obviously, we have to do it tomorrow or Wednesday. I need to see when Alderperson Aldridge is back. And so I'll text him tonight to find out when he's back. We'll get that done quickly. So I don't hear any objections from any of the board members. So I'll take your silence as consent. And I do agree with board member Milton, city councilor, authority, and even the word perceived. I think that we need to make sure that there's nothing in the amendments that will give anybody the authority to remove people based upon anything less than a concrete findings of something that violates the ordinance, not necessarily conflict of interest. That needs to be spelled out. And so those will be at least 2 of the issues that we'll raise with President Green's office and with Alderpersons Aldridge and Saunier. So we're going to move on if there are no other. All right. Thank y'all so much. We're moving pretty quick. At the end of the month, board members should have received the draft of the annual report. That was sent out to all board members at the end of last month. I know that because we have a very conscientious board, I know that all board members have had an opportunity to review it. And what we want to make sure as a board that we vote on the draft, that we receive it as information. And so on October 31st, Deputy Commissioner Barner sent the board and assistant city councilor a draft of the DCO's combined annual quarterly report ending August 8th, 2023 and September 30th, 2023, respectively. I want to, first of all, I want to commend the entire staff. We continue to tell everybody that will listen, we have an awesome staff. Awesome staff. That's okay, James. I think we still have a quorum. Thank you very much. If you can stay long enough, James, to approve this motion, that would be helpful. And then I know you'll have to leave after that. I want to commend the entire staff and the government analysts. And I'm going to, Dotlin, I know I'm going to mess up I don't even want to try to pronounce the last name for me, Deputy Commissioner.
Badesi, Dotlin Badesi.
Dotlin Badesi. I didn't want to mess up the last name. Who led formulating and charting. And a personal thank you to DFOB investigators, Lyles and Love, for substantive complaint content, and our Deputy Commissioner and administrative staff for oversight and proofing. And suffice to say, this report was produced under some extremely challenging conditions. With everything going on, the staff was able to stay focused and to be able to do everything that we as a board and the administration has asked them to do, in addition to following up on complaints and investigations. They have been able to do everything. And so we understand that the conditions were extremely challenging. We want to thank all of the staff for their invaluable contribution. And so right now I'm asking for a motion to approve the draft report for publication and for distribution. Is there a motion? Board members, don't everybody speak at once.
So we're needing a motion?
Yes, Tom.
Okay, well, I motion.
Thank you, Tom. So the motion was made that we approve the draft report for publication and distribution. Is there a seconder?
Chair, I'll be honest, I did not read it, which is why I'm not
Oh,
able to say anything right now.
I understand. I appreciate your honesty. I just want board members, like, as I said, it was sent out August 31st. So I'm always believing
October 31st.
October 31st. Yeah. So I'm just always believing. I know that all of us have a lot to do. All of us have day jobs. But if we don't get a second, this motion is going to die for lack of second. And that means that we're going to have to wait until our next meeting in order to approve our report. And the report is one that is required based upon our ordinance. And I can't second the motion myself. I did read it. Thank you very much.
May I comment, Reverend Gray?
I can only let you.
Oh, after you.
After I get a seconder. If I don't get a seconder, then the motion is going to die. And if the motion dies, then we cannot have discussion on the motion. We'll just have to.
I second.
There you go. I love this board. Thank you, Michael. So it's been properly moved in second. Now we're open for discussion. Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Actually, I will withdraw my comment.
There you go. See,
I was hoping to encourage a second.
Listen, Mike Milton. Mike Milton is listen. Board member Milton is a very seasoned person. So I appreciate that.
I'll tell you the gist of what I wanted to say was that the staff was not really prepared to comply with the ordinance requiring a quarterly report because, number one, we were not able to complete a single investigation.
Understood.
However, we did get a prompting from the current chairperson, and what we thought was that we would present what the staff had gathered. And that was to show the number of complaints that had come in, the type of complaints that had come in. And we were hoping even with that kind of information, we could identify some kind of trend going forward. The DFOB investigators, I call them Lyles and Love, have continued to receive these complaints, even knowing that we were not allowed to do full investigations. That's what I mean in the report when I say extenuating circumstances. But it was my hope that the board, as well as the public, when the next steps are that we will publish the report, we will distribute it according to the ordinance, and we of course will have it on the website for public consumption, so that we could at least see some of the information, some of the categories of complaints that are coming in. And staff I suggested that they begin to do investigative plans with each report so that when we're allowed to go in and interview detainees, when we're allowed to receive the reports of documentation concerning the complaints, we'll be able to kind of hit the ground running, get rid of the backlog, move forward, identify trends, and hopefully provide some recommendations to the board for any policy changes, that sort of thing, that we read into the ordinance that you should be doing.
Thank you, Deputy Commissioner. And for me, I see Mike's hand up as well. And for me, the reason that we have it on there, what we don't want, board members, is for anybody to come back and look at the ordinance and say that we did not comply. The ordinance is very clear on the fact that an annual report is part of what we are required to present. And it was important, even in our annual report, to show where the roadblocks have been, where the obstruction has been. What we want that in the report too. And so we wanted to make sure that we got that report in. We're a little bit over the wire, but at least before the end of this year, we were able to present a product. And obviously all board members, I think, will all agree it's not what we had been hoping for. We hoped that we would have been able to do more and be further down the road, but we weren't. And so we wanted to make sure that that was documented too in our annual report. Yes, Board Member Milton.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Ruby, I think it'd be super helpful if there still can be, you had said earlier in your comments about the possibility of presenting to the board. I was wondering if maybe we can have some time in our next board meeting to still do that. Just to talk about the findings, get some responses. I did read the report, and we wasn't able to get much because of the circumstances. And I think that the public needs to know that too, that we were prepared to make a report, we were prepared to do investigations, and yet we were not able to. And I think, being able to show that.
The staff is calling those extenuating circumstances. The staff is not in a position to identify any kind of impediments as roadblocks, because obviously there are reasons from the administration standpoint as to why we weren't able to do certain things, and of course the board too. So the staff has to be neutral. I mean, we have to just kind of present the facts as we find them, what we have here. We obviously, even under investigative circumstances, we could not give personally identifiable information anyway. Right. So everything would have to be categorized and numbers provided, as opposed to some individual kinds of things. So I just want to say that because it's very important that I think staff persons be allowed to simply do his job, not kind of deal with labels, I guess is what I wanted to say. And so there is a forward that represents at least a board member's perspective in the report. We didn't identify it in the draft, but we will identify it going forward. That kind of gives a historical perspective from the time of the committee that was formed under the previous administration, and the various ordinances that have been adopted and changed. And, we are in the process of now having another change. So that was very well laid out, I think, by Secretary Walker, and that is included in the forward. But beyond that, we have just indicated the challenges challenges and extenuating circumstances, without identifying what constituted a roadblock or why we weren't able to do certain things. And I think the board members understand that.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand. I mean, you can continue to say extenuating circumstances, but I will say this: even though you were fully trained, and were you able to get into the jail?
No.
Okay.
We have not to this point. But now I don't know that we've renewed any of our requests, since we now have 3 board members, shortly, I guess, 4 board members fully trained. I've been on vacation, so I'm not, I'm just now catching up as to what might have happened in my absence. But to my knowledge, I don't know that any of the subsequent complaints there's been an accompanying request to go in. So that I know that we did get a very positive response from the commissioner with respect to a request for a tour by the fully trained board members. So we're still working on trying to get that date for those board members. But beyond that, we've
Still
not
haven't
made a
access to the
request to
agenda.
go in and interview detainees. And so I can't say that at this moment, we would not be allowed.
But since you've
What,
been
what, I'm sorry,
approved,
just
can I
for a
ask one more
minute.
question?
Yeah, but just for a
Been
minute.
fully approved?
Okay, just for a minute. I want us to do this because we're on a motion to approve the report. So I do
Okay.
understand that there are other questions that have come out of the response from the deputy commissioner. So I know that based upon that, those comments, board members have other questions. Can we do this first? If there's no objection from board members, board member Milton, if your question is regarding the report, because we will talk about the tour, but if it's regarding the report, can we do that? And then we do have the update on the tour on the agenda. We can get back to that. Can we do that so that we can at least get this motion clear?
Sure.
Okay. And Vice Chair, you had your hand up. Was it a question regarding the report?
Yeah, it's about the
Okay.
report. So, I was gonna real quick go in and look at the report while the discussion was happening, but then I clicked in and I saw that it was like 50 plus pages. So I am gonna have to, that's terrific. Thank you, staff. I am gonna have to, like, you know, either abstain, well, not either, abstain today, and read the full report for the next meeting. But my question is, I was going in and I saw some graphs and charts about, you know, summaries of what general data we're looking at, how many white people did complaints, Black people, gender, that kind of thing. And I'm wondering, when we vote to approve as board members, when we vote to approve the report, what is our vote of approval saying? Are we approving the accuracy of
No,
no, we're not?
I don't believe you're voting to approve the accuracy.
Right.
And actually, I don't even know if you really need to vote on it. I think we just wanted to, we wanted the board to have an opportunity to see the draft, to comment, recommend any changes before we actually published it. Now, that's a little bit different than what I think is required under the ordinance, but because we're kind of doing it as best we can, we wanted the board to know what it is we're doing, how we're doing it, what we're proposing as the use for the data. So to answer the quick answer is, I don't believe you're required to approve it. And even if you were, I wouldn't expect that you would be able to confirm the
Okay.
data as we have compiled it. Unless
That's
you.
why, okay, excuse me, that's why we
Uh,
asked for the motion to approve the draft report for publication and distribution. We're making the motion that we're receiving it as information.
Okay.
And I think that as a board, if this is going out and it's part of the ordinance, then the board has a responsibility that if something's going out from staff or from board under our name, is that yes, we should be reviewing it, but we should also be signing off on it. Because as you said, you not only are you looking at what the staff and or the board has done over the course of the year, but you're also talking about what the staff and or the board will do coming up. And so I think it is incumbent upon the board to weigh in and give some input in that. And so that's why we asked for the motion. And I understand that there are people who haven't read it. If you haven't read it, then I would say just abstain. But I think the motion has been made, been probably moved in second. Yes. Any
So
further discussion?
yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So I bring this up because I'm wondering, for me, there's this conflict of, there is talk right now of the city not supporting giving confidential information to board members who haven't signed the confidentiality agreement. And
Vice Chair,
therefore,
I'm gonna have to interrupt for a minute, only because if it's to the report, we have a motion on the floor, and we've been on this motion. I think that with your permission, I think that we can bring that up under new business. But my fear is that if what you are articulating is not in the report, then we're getting off the motion. And I want us to
okay,
come back to the motion. Yeah.
I can rephrase it, because what I'm trying to say is something I think is crucial for board members who will be voting and not abstaining to consider, that the majority of the report summarizes or makes recommendations off of data that we board members have not officially reviewed. And that's my only concern. So that's it.
Well, there are no recommendations being made to the board.
Right.
As a result of this. This is simply information that staff has received in the form of complaints. Staff has categorized those complaints, and that's basically what's in there.
Right.
Okay.
We were
That's
not
helpful.
able to, we're not presenting any findings on those complaints because no investigation has been completed. This
Right.
is mere data. There's some narrative in there. There are analytics and charts of the information that we have right here in the office that board members can readily come in and review once they are released from the training requirements.
Okay, we're going to move on. Once again, board members, the responsibility of an annual report is in the ordinance. What we don't want, with all of the obstruction and everything else that has taken place, the obstacles that we've had to deal with, we don't want to become the obstacle as a board. And so my putting this on the agenda, because the staff have worked, and I think as I've read it, have done an excellent job in presenting a report that this is something that we can cross off our checklist of something that has been accomplished by staff and with the input of our board. And so if there are no more questions or comments regarding it, I see Mary Lou Webb. I know you have your hand up, but I would ask that your comments, Ms. Webb, would have to be confined to the public comment section.
And if I may, Reverend Gray?
Yeah.
We did forward a copy to Barb, and I've not heard back from her. I don't know if she just hasn't gotten around to reviewing it, but I'd be interested if she would want to weigh in relative to her understanding of what the report represents and should represent.
If you're acknowledging me, I did get a for your information copy. Nobody asked for any feedback on it.
Right.
I understand what you're saying, what you're expressing what's in it. I might suggest to the chair, if people would like to have a break, and review it. That's another thing that you could do.
And I appreciate that. I am going to, as I said, this was sent out the end of October. And again, I know all of us are busy. I'm not trying to make excuses for any board members. My hope is always that as we get information, particularly as it relates to our responsibility, that we are reviewing it and looking at it. And then when we get to a point where this is 2 weeks later, that we've had an opportunity to look at it. For us to try to take a break and review 50 some pages and digest that, I'm not sure that that's the answer. I'd rather vote it up or vote it down, and then we can always review it at the next meeting. But we have a motion on the floor, and I'm gonna call the motion. So all in favor of the motion to approve the draft report for publication and distribution, please indicate by saying aye, and I will go down the list. Vice Chair Mensa,
No.
Mike Milton,
Abstain.
James Darm had to leave. Hillary Stuckey, do we still have Hillary? I
No.
see. Okay. Okay. Did you say no, Hillary?
Yeah, I'm looking at the participants. I don't see her there.
I'm here.
There
I
you
didn't,
go.
I didn't hear you.
She's
My
Zoom
name is
user.
not on there.
I knew she was. I knew she was
I'm
there.
like, I haven't left. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. I broke up. What were you saying? What was the question? I'm sorry.
There's a motion to approve the.
Oh yeah, I heard that. So I did hear Janice as well. I haven't finished the report, so I'm gonna be honest as well. So I read most of it. So do I need to still, vote on the motion, or
No, you can abstain.
I would rather abstain to be fair to all parties.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thomas Lawson.
Yeah, I kind of feel like maybe we're all not sure on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and abstain too until we have, a better understanding of what direction we really want to go.
All right. So obviously by the votes, the motion does not carry. We'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting. That'll give everybody an opportunity to look through it and to ask any questions they may have to the staff prior to the next meeting. All right. Thank you very much. That was a very lively and interesting conversation. Just for information, I know that Secretary Walker had an opportunity to meet with staff, and just based upon the report itself, just the breakdown, Division of Civilian Oversight, aggregate summary of complaints, IRRs received in 2023. There were 32 total. Just the categories, medical commissary / missing property, 14, sanctions, disagreement / due process, 7, recommendations / release requests, 0, conditions, 3, communications / tablet use, 1, harassment, 3, sexual assault, 1, jobs / protective custody / pay issues, 0, correctional officers behavior / use of force, 3. So when you get a chance to look at the annual report and the breakdown, this was just a summary of the complaints and the IRRs that received in the categories in which the complaints were documented. And that's all we wanted to look at on B. So just to give people an understanding, 32 complaints in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 categories, with 2 of those categories representing 0. Any questions? Like I said, once you read the report, you'll be able to look at the graphs, to look at the information that the staff has prepared, and it'll clarify, I think, the categories and the numbers as well. I do want to reiterate to board members, my understanding, once that non-disclosure agreement is signed, and I believe what the confidentiality agreement is signed, then board members will have access to information, to all information. I want us to be clear, the access to the prison or to the jail, it shouldn't be a prison, is determined by the 16-hour training, because a lot of that is security oriented. So that's 16-hour training. But once board members sign that non-disclosure agreement, that confidentiality agreement, my understanding is that then they are privy to information. So I want us to be clear about what's what. And so please read the report before the next meeting, and we'll have it on the agenda at the next meeting. Public comments. We're now in a period of public comments. If any members of the public wish to speak, if they would be so kind as to raise their hands, and I will ask the staff to help me in determining who was first, second, or third. Any members of the public who wish to? All right. Mary Lou Webb. Can we allow Mary Lou Webb?
Yes.
There you go.
I have a question.
Before you do, Mary Lou,
Oh.
you have 3 minutes. I almost asked you some questions that I got slapped on the hand about before, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let you know you have 3 minutes starting now.
3 minutes. Okay. My question is, for the people that have filled out complaints, what if they are moved somewhere else, like to a hospital or something? They're not just dropped, right? Because these things happened and these things need to be moved forward. It can't be just ignored, correct?
Yeah, my understanding is that once they fill out the complaint, that the staff will still move forward with the complaint.
That's correct.
And the deputy commissioner said, "I'm right. Okay, I'm doing good tonight. I'm doing good."
Okay. All right. Because I was wondering about that. And I think you're going to be having another one also. So just to let you know.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mary Lou. And thank you for your comment. And thank you for your interest in what happens in the Justice Center. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone?
Thank you all for everything you're doing or trying to do.
There you go. Anyone else, public comments? I'm looking through. Anyone else? I don't see any other names going once. Public comments going twice. So we now are going to move on. New business. I know that Vice Chair Mensah began to ask a question, and I suggested that it be referred to new business. Vice Chair, did you want to ask that question or make that presentation now?
Is it the confidentiality thing I was saying before?
Yeah, I think that's what it was in reference to.
No, I don't really think it's relevant.
Okay. All right. Any of the board members have anything to bring up under new business before we give an update on the CJC tour that's been requested? Anything else that you feel that
Sure.
we need? Yes.
I actually do have something. It's different though. Okay. I just want to raise again, and maybe, yeah, let me reel it in. I just want to raise again that the city has not given any update on board member term renewals. I know that Tom and Hillary have been personally reached out to. I have not. So if they're going to be updating us about training and things, I'd love for them to get around to that.
I will.
About the updating. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Oh, just an update on board members, those who have turned out. What is? Where are we? Where is the city, the mayor's office, and the public safety committee? Where are they in the process of either reclaiming board members, changing board members? Just where are they in that process?
Okay, I understand. Okay.
Yeah, and so we will follow up. And Vice Chair, you mentioned at your meeting, correct me if I'm wrong, you were appointed by the Public Safety Committee, though. Is that correct?
No, I'm a mayor appointee.
I didn't know that. I thought that it was public safety. I'm okay. I'm glad you clarified that. All right.
I think I'm a mayor appointee.
I think
No,
you might
I've
want
been
to,
saying that, so.
you might want to recheck that. I think that you might be, I think it was myself, you, and Miss Lewis Walls. I think the three of us might have been public safety, and the other six may have been all mayor's appointee. Public safety had three, mayor had three. I could be wrong, but you might want to check on that.
I think it, no, I think mine was the mayor.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'll check for sure.
All right. Okay. Just to follow up. And as the chair, I will send a correspondence on behalf of the board asking both the mayor's office and the Public Safety Commission, Public Safety Committee chair, where they are in the process, and reiterate our position as well. So we'll get that done within the next day or two. And we will CC board members on that communication. Any other new business to come before the board? Just to give an update, the staff, at the request of myself, Secretary Walker, and board member Lewis Walls, made a request to the Commission of Corrections to do a tour. To the credit of the commissioner, her response was positive. She asked us to submit some dates. The first date that we submitted, we were not able to do. That was today. But with having our board meeting, we didn't feel that might be too much. There are two dates that we've submitted to the commissioner: the 20th of this month and the 28th of this month. The 20th of this month and the 28th of this month. I'm not available on the 28th. I've asked that we go on the 20th. And board and Secretary Walker is only available on the 28th. We've asked if we can do two separate tours. We don't necessarily have to go together. And so we're trying to work it out, waiting to receive communication from the commissioner if both dates can be accommodated. And in that request, we're asking for staff to accompany us as well. Obviously, it's a general tour. We still don't, for me, I'm going to be very clear. I won't be dictated to. I'm not going on a tour. I'm basically going to let them know where I want to go. And I'm going to ask them to just provide the security to get me to where I want to go. I'm not doing a chairperson, we're going to take you here, we're going to take you there, I'm not doing that. So I want the board to be clear, and I've made that clear also, is that even though it says tour, it means visit. Because I'm not doing a tour. I'm doing a visit. I'm doing a site visit. They call it tour, but I'm doing a site visit. And I want to make it clear that this is not an investigation. It is a site visit. Staff does investigations. Board members do site visits. So I want to do a site visit, which means I want to be able to talk to people. I want to be able to ask questions. I want to be able to ask questions of medical staff. I want to be able to ask questions of correctional officers. I want to be able to ask questions of representatives of detainees. And so I want to be able to ask these questions. I don't want to go on a tour. So I want to be clear to the board as to what I envision the site visit to be. And so we're waiting to hear, hopefully we'll hear something within the next couple of days. As soon as we hear something, we will notify the board, all the board, as to those dates. Again, to board members who are just a training away, you know what you want to do. I'm the chair. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. Everybody on this board is committed, has been committed from day one. And so we'll leave it at that.
Question, Chair.
Miss Anitha just said she got a email saying that the meeting was canceled. That's why she's not on. I'm sorry, Board Member Milton.
I had to step away for a second. So no tour, y'all scheduling the days. I gather that part.
The 20th or the 28th? The 20th or the 28th?
Have there been any response about the conditions from the commission or any information, since y'all are privileged, given that, you know, if the training is complete? Have y'all received anything yet?
No. And that's one of the things, I'm glad you asked that question. The simple answer is no. Board Member Milton, we're gonna push it. They were saying from the beginning, board members have to have training in order to have accessibility to information. Now we have board members who have training. We want the information. And I've made it clear, if I have to take a page from Vice Chair Mensa's book, I don't mind showing up. I'm gonna give you notice that I'm coming, but I don't mind showing up. And when I show up, I'm gonna ask questions. And I'm going to expect answers. I'm gonna take a page out of Vice Chair Mensa's book. I don't have a problem showing up. So
Love it.
I think that Board Member Milton, I think that as Deputy Commissioner Browner has said, the commissioner responded to the last communication asking to see the complaint that precipitated the request from the staff. I'm trying to, I'm really trying to understand, Board Member Milton, if the staff submits a request, shouldn't that be enough? And it's just so perplexing to me that if the staff initiates a request, it's obviously based on something. The commissioner wants to see who initiated the staff action, who initiated it, how it was initiated. So the commissioner wants to see that. Once again, it's just mind-boggling. But kudos to the staff that has responded, has always responded in a professional way, and will continue to respond in a professional way. And we would like to get that information because it's getting cold now. Winter, as we say, winter is coming. For those of us who are Game of Thrones fans, winter is coming. And if the allegations are correct regarding the last freeze, we want to make sure that has been resolved, and we want to make sure that that's not going to be a problem as it gets colder in CJC. And so we're asking for that information more sooner than later.
We'll
So we
follow
will
up and
keep you apprised.
to find out whether or not the question is of form rather than substance. It may be
Okay.
that she's accustomed to seeing our written joint form, and if that's the issue, we can accommodate that.
All right. Thank you so
You are
much.
so gracious. I do want to say really quickly,
Yes.
for those on the board who's haven't had the training or whatever, I think that now is the opportunity to ask for everything that we want, and then share it back as much as we can in the public. I do think that that's our responsibility. They can no longer say training stopped us or the reason why they can't get the information. And so I expect at the next meeting that we should have a lot more detailed report from y'all or for whoever who has access to the jail. And I do think, I don't know if I can make a motion because I haven't signed a confidentiality agreement yet, but I do think that we need to refresh a request to the warden to receive everything that we've been asking for over the last year and a half.
And you can make a motion. I want to make something clear. All board members are duly appointed, vetted. Your what's the word I'm looking for, Mike? Yes, you can make a motion.
Well, I would like to make a motion there real quick.
Yes.
We all the requests that we've made over the last years of from the jail, that we resend a letter to the commissioner or to whoever, not to whoever, but to the commissioner or the public safety director to receive that information.
It's been probably moved. Is there a seconder? It's been moved by Board Member Milton, seconded by Vice Chair Mensa, that the board, who is that? Who was that seconded? Was that Tom or Janice? I'm not sure who seconded. Are we still on?
I heard Janice, but who is now muted. So is Tom.
Oh, so it was, okay. So Janice or Tom, which one of you, please, one of you come off of mute and. Was that you?
I was the
seconded,
seconder.
Tom? Okay. All right. Okay, I'm sorry. I still didn't get it. Okay, Tom, I'm taking Tom. All right, so it was moved by Board Member Milton, seconded by Board Member Lawson, that we review the communication that the board has sent to the commissioner regarding specific questions around conditions of the jail. You've heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? All in favor of the motion indicate by, it is a motion, so we need everybody's facial. We need your face. Vice Chair Mensa.
Aye.
Board Member Milton.
Aye.
James is not with here. Board Member Stuckey.
Aye.
Pam's not here. Board Member Lawson.
Aye.
And I agree as well. Chair doesn't usually vote, but in this case, I want to make sure that folks see it as, Ornitha didn't get on, did she? Okay. All right. And Ornitha's not here. So motion carries. So with that, scheduling next meeting, we definitely want to do it after the 28th. And I do have from Barbara the dates that she's not. Again, Barbara, what dates are you not available in December?
Oh gosh, let me double check. I know that's important. I don't want to mess that up.
Of course it's important. We want you in the meeting.
Well, thank you.
By the way, Chair,
Yes.
I did find that information from the ordinance. It does look like I was probably recommended by the Public Safety Committee, since the 16 to 24-year-old member slot is not the slot that's one of the 6 recommended by the mayor.
Right. Yeah, that was what I thought, and every time I look back at it, that was my understanding, that your appointment was through the public safety.
Good thing you reminded me.
And that's who we need to in talking about reappointments and process and filling slots. That's who we need to talk to regarding your reappointment.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think our question might have been confusion around, even though I was initially recommended by the Public Safety Committee, are renewals just 100% across the board a mayor issue or not? I'm not sure.
No, I still think that, I mean, the ordinance that we're under is still the ordinance that we're under. And I don't, even in looking at the new ordinance, it's still 3 appointments for the Public Safety Committee, 3 appointments for the mayor.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't see any change in that. Obviously, at the end of the day, the mayor has to sign the bill, but the appointments come through the various entities. I am away. I'm not telling y'all too much about where I'm away to, but because I don't want y'all following me. I'm away from the 5th through the I think 11th. Well, wait a minute. I'm back on the 12th of December from the, Barbara, did you say you cannot do the 18th? The third,
Yeah,
you
I
can't.
have hearings before the Preservation Board administrative hearings on November 20, December 18, and also January 29. And you're more than happy. Everybody can follow me there and watch those hearings. I'm sure they'll be very exciting. But yeah, and I can always try, I can get a replacement from my office if very need be, but I get like as much head start as possible if we're in that situation.
Well, let me ask the board this, because I agree with Board Member Milton. We have board members who are able to access information, able to move, hopefully move a little bit quicker in getting information. And obviously, there's information as board members that we cannot share either. So all of us just want everybody to understand that board members understand that there's certain information that board members cannot share. We understand that. And there's information that we can. And I'm glad that Board Member Milton said that. He said what information we can get, we want it. And so thank you, Board Member Milton, for that. In that, if we can get that that site visit the 20th or the 28th, and it also gives board members an opportunity to review the annual report. I'd like to suggest Monday, the 4th of December, only because if we're talking about wanting to get a response back from the commissioner regarding plans going into the winter to respond to our communication first, but also wanting to get plans on the CJC going into the winter. We want to do that more sooner than later in case we have to follow up. And so if we can plan for the 4th of December, that at least gives us 3 weeks. That gives us 3 weeks to try to pull as much information together so that we can have a substantive meeting on the 4th. And a lot of that meeting on the 4th, to be reminded, an update on the site visit, some movement on the annual report, a response from the commissioner regarding the letter on conditions, an update on training, an update on policy and procedure, where we are with that, and at least to Board Member Milton's point, at least a draft of a letter to be sent to the commissioner with the issues that we articulated over the course of our tenure, so that we can see this is what we're asking for. Because we may not need to ask for everything that we asked for before. There may be some priorities that we want, but there's still there's still issues and requests that we've asked for in the past, but now they may be more of a priority nature, particularly since we're going into the winter. So those would be the items, 6 or 7 items that we would try to prioritize in the next meeting, if board members have no objection to that.
I have a question.
Yes.
So will the board determine those priorities and communicate them to me to assemble? How will that work?
Yeah, I think that I'm going to ask all board members to review, to go back, look at the communication that we've sent out.
Okay.
And then as board members go back and review the communication that we've sent out, if they will extract from that communication what they feel are the priority issues that we need to revisit, and those items that we need to to ask for, because as I
And
said,
they will forward their information to you
you.
then, Reverend Gray? And
they can
then
forward
you
it
will let
to-
me know what it is you want the staff to do?
Yes, ma'am. They will forward it to me, and I will collaborate with you. The word collaboration. We're gonna show people how we
How
collaborate.
it's really done.
Yeah.
My second question has to do with the board site visit.
Yeah.
Are you following up with the commissioner as to whether or not she is going to allow jail visits on two separate dates, the 20th and 28th? Are you doing that, or?
Yes,
how's that
I'll do
gonna
that.
happen?
I'm going to do that as soon as we hang up. I'm going to do that because what I don't want also, board members, I don't want the board to be dictated to as far as site visits. And let me be clear about that. For example, Secretary Walker, her priority, specific priority, is around the issue of health. And so she may say, I want to do a site visit and I want to focus it on health. Well, we shouldn't have to wait on all the board members to go to that. She should have access to the CJC to do that. Other board members may have other issues. And so the ordinance does not say that we have to go as a group. And I don't want anybody to force us to have to go as a group and the availability of everybody in order for anybody to go. So we don't want to play that game. Board members, all board members have equal responsibility, and all board members will have equal authority. And it's going to be up to the commissioner to accommodate board members, not for board members to accommodate the commissioner. That's my understanding of the ordinance.
Agreed. I agree. My understanding of the ordinance said that she cannot block y'all from coming, or anybody in me, block us from coming inside of the jail altogether. I do have a question on the information. I wonder if it makes more logistical sense if Ruby or somebody from your office, Ruby, the investigators, can lift up the last couple requests that we made. I know we made video requests around some of the deaths. I know I want to see those. I wonder if it makes sense if instead of us going through all the emails, because I was thinking about it, like, do I have time to go through the list of emails? And I don't think I do. Maybe if somebody can compile the last 4 or 5 requests, and that starts the email chain, and then we can respond and say if we have any additions to any information that we want to see.
Well, part of my reasoning for the question, Member Mike, is that staff has made specific requests relative to specific complaints. And I didn't want those to be confused with the correspondence that have come specifically from the board. I remember most recently, the board made a long list of items that it wanted the staff to investigate that included conditions, and it was very, very specific. Right. So my suggestion would be that maybe we look at that one and see what other additional things that, because there's a lot of stuff that's been flowing. We're still putting stuff together for the audit. So I can tell you there's been a lot of correspondence, but I can't determine for the board what your priorities are.
Let me take a look at it, and I'll, Mike, if you're okay with it, I'll ask Pam also, since she's the secretary for the board.
Yeah.
I'll ask her to do a review as well. And then send it out, because she is the secretary for the board. So we'll just say that, listen, as a secretary, could you do a review, particularly of the last 4 major correspondence, and see what you can pull together and or extract from that? Is that acceptable? Okay. Lord, we've had a good meeting. You guys, wait a minute.
Dennis's hand is up, though.
Is it because it's close to Christmas? Is that what it is? Close to Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Chair?
we're doing, yes, and then this will be our last, yes, Vice Chair?
Yeah. I think it would be more than appropriate. Also, it would be my ideal if we can say to the warden, give us everything that we've ever asked for now, and anything that we've asked for that you can't provide, just say what it is and why you can't provide it. Because I think we've come back to this place multiple times of, okay, now we've done what they wanted. Can we go back through thousands of emails to see what we asked for? All things considered, with the circumstances of this jail, I think the lift needs to be on the warden and the jail. Just give us everything.
I mean, I don't disagree. My only, and I'm trying not to give my opinion too much as the chair. I just want to facilitate. I think, Vice Chair, that if we can be as specific as possible, because as Board Member Milton said, from 18 months ago, it's a lot of correspondence. It's a lot of stuff. I don't know what she's done with any correspondence that we've sent. I don't know if it's in file 13 or whatever. And it could be somewhere in a nice, neat file saying DFOB, things I'm going to get to. I don't know. I doubt it, but I don't know. If we're able to review it and send another letter based upon the fact, as Board Member Milton said, now we've got board members who have completed this, board members who have completed that. What we may not get or shouldn't get back is, I'm not going to give you this information because you're not this or that. And so, with your permission, if you're okay with, if you don't have any major objections, I'd like to go the route that Board Member Milton has suggested. Utilize the secretary to do the review, and board members will get a copy of that correspondence before we send it to the commission. So if we're missing anything, board members will still have an opportunity to say, listen, you're missing this. And then we are specific, rather than just saying, listen, Chair, Commissioner, we want you to review everything that we sent to you and respond to it. She's not going to do it. And so instead of us just spinning our wheels, knowing she's not going to do it, let us be more deliberate. And that's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I have no strong objection to that whatsoever. I would be interested in a hybrid option where we say, give us everything we've ever asked for. Here is a non-comprehensive, like this isn't everything, but here is a non-comprehensive list, a couple of reminders, please don't forget these things, but give us everything.
I like that. We got the hybrid, but then we've got these are okay, we can put that together. All right, see how we work together? All right. All right, if there's nothing else to come before the board.
Chairman Gray, this is Louisa Lyles, Investigator Lyles.
Yes.
May I comment right quick? Earlier, I wanted to comment, but you're moving so fast, I didn't want to interrupt anything. The investigative staff, although we have not had an opportunity to go inside the jail and conduct an investigation, we are definitely diligently working on those files. We are compiled an investigative plan. We sent out letters to the attorneys asking permission to engage, to interview their clients. So we are not sitting back and waiting on anything. We are ready to go whenever the time says it's permitted for us to do so. So we are definitely working and moving forward as if we were in action.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lyles. And we do know, we've stated at the beginning, that our staff is competent and capable. They just need access. And again, to the public, we continue to have this problem with access. The staff have been fully trained for some time now, and there's no reason that they shouldn't have the access that they're requesting. So we'll make sure we follow up on that. And Ms. Lyles, thank you again for your diligence and for your perseverance. And so with that, can we get a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
It's been probably moved by Vice Chair Mensah. Is there a seconder?
Second it.
Been seconded by Tom. Before we call the vote, I just got a report that board member Milton just signed his confidentiality agreement. Woo-hoo! All right, y'all, here we come. Here we come. All right, we're probably moving second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, nay. Motion carries. Thank you all very much. And we will talk before then. Mike, I'll follow back up with you on the meeting before Thursday. Y'all have a great night. And thank you for a great meeting. Good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Good night.